Hey everyone, it's Eva Reese from Acctivate. I'm in support, and today we're going to be talking about the shipping workstation. We're going to go over the basics of the module and how to configure some additional options as well. So what is the shipping workstation module? It's the ability to connect to a shipping application via an ODBC connection with your Acctivate database. It allows you to import the shipping address and other information to the application and quickly create the shipment. Then once the shipment is processed in the application, the tracking numbers and shipping charges can be exported or written back to the Acctivate database and found on the related order. So what is a shipping application? It's a program installed on a workstation provided by a third party that allows for the creation of shipping labels for your packages. This slide shows examples of applications that have been successfully integrated with Acctivate. We have UPS WorldShip, FedEx Ship Manager, DHL, USPS, Stamps.com, Indicia, ShipRush, and Starship. This list is by no means complete because any shipping application that can import and export data via an ODBC connection will work in much the same manner as the ones listed. So in the list of shipping applications, we had UPS, FedEx, DHL, and USPS. Those are carrier shipping applications, meaning that they are owned and operated by the carrier that actually does the shipping. There are also non-carrier shipping applications, and you may ask why you want to use one of them instead. The main reasons are they allow you to work with multiple carriers all in one application, which then allows you to rate shop, and they have a lot more customization options for data and how it's brought into the application. Some of them support batch processing and allow you to import the order line information to the shipment for international shipments or extra reporting needs. Now we're going to talk about the configuration of the carriers and services within Acctivate itself. The ship via field is used by Acctivate as a method of shipment and can be used to default certain carriers and services on customers and orders. It should be a generic value, such as ground, express, overnight, or customer pickup. You can match it to what your web store uses, such as standard or expedited. Then when you set up the ship via in Configuration Manager, you're required to set a carrier type. These are things like overnight, common carrier, postal service, rail, etc. You'll also be required to set a carrier type when setting up the carriers in Configuration Manager. Carrier types allow you to filter your list of carriers based on those that offer similar services. So I would put FedEx and UPS with the same carrier type. You can also set the default carrier and carrier service on the ship via you're creating. This list will be filtered based on the carrier type. For carrier, the account number refers to your company's account number for that carrier. Carrier type again relates to the ship via. The SCAC code is used for EDI transactions. It stands for Standard Carrier Alpha Code. An EDI trading partner may send an SCAC code on their 850, or you may be required to send one back on the 856 or 810. This code is also used to show carriers in Package Manager. The URL is used for tracking number URL for each carrier. This allows you to simply hit the track package field on the order and see whether the package has been delivered or not. The carrier service configuration involves selecting a carrier from the drop-down list that you added in the carrier selection of Configuration Manager. Then you will enter the service and description. Typically, you want to make the service match what your carrier calls it, and then the description can be more verbose to let your team know what the service refers to. Moving on. Carrier billing option. The billing option typically comes from the shipping application. This option tells Acctivate whether you want to include the shipping charge on the invoice or not. The options are third party, bill receiver, or bill shipper. If you process a shipment and bill a third-party carrier account, you don't want to bill your customer a second time for that amount on their invoice. So that's why you would configure these options ahead of time. If the billing option that comes from your shipping application is blank or no match is found for the option sent from your shipping application, then Acctivate will by default add the shipping charge to the invoice. The carrier insurance option just tells Acctivate if the shipment was processed as insured or not. And the carrier void option tells Acctivate if the shipment processed has been voided so that it can be removed from the order if it needs to be. So within Acctivate, there's a module called Package Manager. Package Manager comes as part of the EDI Sales and Warehouse module, but it can also be purchased separately. When you use Package Manager, Acctivate is the one telling the shipping application how many cartons are needed for each shipment. The cartons are packaged automatically or not, based on the EDI configuration if the order is related to a trading partner. The EDI package settings are found for each trading partner under the advanced settings for that partner in Configuration Manager. You can also package each shipment with its own rules, called packaging options. You will have to do this for any orders that are not related to a trading partner, so non-EDI orders. By product packaging unit is one of the options, and it means that the product will be packaged into multiple cartons based on how many of the product are in the order and the package unit of the product. I'll go over an example in my demo and explain more about the additional unit handling as well. If I'm shipping to a distribution center for EDI, I can also select to package products based on the Mark IV or store location. And one carton means the whole package is put into one carton. I also have the option to manually pack the items, meaning that I would add the cartons and then drag and drop the products into each carton manually. There are two different mappings for most of our help articles when you're talking about shipping workstation integrations. If you go to the help site, you'll see a mapping or a help article for the UPS regular mapping and the UPS packaging manager mapping. When you're using packaging manager, this data is saved differently in the database, so we have to pull it from a different place than if you were not using packaging manager. And so this slide shows you pretty much the main differences between if you use package manager or not. Sales order mapping only allows for one order be shipped at a time, while package manager will combine sales orders that have the same ship to location if they're both able to be shipped at the same time into one shipment in Acctivate. When you use the sales order mapping in a shipping application, the application assumes that you are only sending one carton for all the items, so it will only print out one label. You can add another carton when you process the shipment, but it's a manual process in the shipping application. Packaging Manager will send the shipping application the separate cartons created by those automatic packaging options related to the shipment to be processed all at once. The sales order mapping will not have a way to separate the order weight into multiple cartons since we only send the one carton, but Package Manager relates the weight of the carton to each carton brought into the shipping application. If you add an additional package or carton to a shipment when you use the sales order mapping, you won't be able to see and activate what products shipped in what box. And this is a big one. Package Manager relates the contents of each box to the carton so that way you can easily tell which items are in which carton and what tracking number relates to them specifically. The sales order mapping also does not record a carton number in the database, but Packaging Manager uses or creates an SSCC18 ID for each package. This ID is used mainly in EDI orders, and it can also be printed on a UCC 128 label. So if you don't use the shipping application that we listed before, this chart's going to come in handy. This shows where you will be able to be pulling the information from based on the type of mapping you wish to create. So the key field for the import of the sales order mapping is the order number. And so that means I would enter the order number into the integration field, and then the shipping application will pull that order's information from Acctivate. The key field for import for Package Manager is shipment number, and the key field for export on the sales order mapping is the same as the import. Package Manager, on the other hand, uses the package ID. This means that Acctivate will match the tracking number information based on the package ID, so that way it specifically matches to each package within the shipment. So on the import for sales orders, you're going to use the orders available to ship view, but for Package Manager, you'll use shipment summary and shipment pack. Shipment pack is going to give you that package ID that you're going to use for your export. but both mappings are going to use TB order packages text for the export table. This table is a holding table, and once a shipment or order is refreshed, the data will be transferred to the proper tables in the database for each shipment. So now I'll give you a short overview of how the mapping setup works in Acctivate. Each of the shipping applications will require some setup, and UPS WorldShip gives us a really good example of a generic setup, but I won't go into too much detail because all of this is laid out in our UPS help articles. So once you have UPS WorldShip up and running, you'll go in and you'll create the mapping. First, you'll have to have an ODBC connection on your shipping workstation, the workstation that's housing the shipping application. And then in UPS, to create the mapping, you will go to the Import-Export tab and go to Create and Edit the Map. This will take you to the next window, which shows the existing mappings and allows you to create a new one. You'll need to create a mapping for the import as well as a mapping for the export. To create the import mapping, I'll select the Import from ODBC database option, then choose the map type of shipment. I'll enter the name for my import mapping and select Create. Then a new window will show, asking which ODBC connection to use. I should see the one that was set up for Acctivate, and I'll be able to enter the Acctivate database username and password. That's when the next window will come up. This is where the actual mapping takes place itself. So notice I'm using the view called Orders Available to Ship to create the sales order type mapping. That means that my import key is going to be the order number, as shown in the green box. The help articles give you the exact fields to map between UPS and Acctivate, so I won't cover all of those. Once I'm done with my mapping, I'll hit OK, and it'll save it. To use the mapping that I just created, I'm going to go in and use the keyed import function. Again, that's available in the Import-Export tab. And this will allow me to enter a sales order number from Acctivate into the import key field in UPS, the little pop-up box. UPS will then pull the order information from the Acctivate database. It will fill in the address and any other things that you have mapped. The other side of the mapping is the export from UPS to Acctivate. I would set up a new mapping, just like on the import, but this time choose the Export to ODBC database option. Then I'd follow the help articles to map the fields to the TB order packages text table in Acctivate. After I've created the export mapping, I can then select to have UPS automatically export the completed shipment data to Acctivate after processing the shipment or during the end of day. Typically, you want to see the information sooner than running end of day, so we suggest using the option to export after each shipment. Then in Acctivate, I'll be able to refresh my sales order and review the tracking information on the Packages tab of the order. Since the more complex part of shipping is using the Acctivate Package Manager, we'll go over that in a bit more detail. So in my demo, I have Walmart set up as a trading partner and a customer. I have an order for their store number 100. It's been picked and it's now ready to be shipped. First, I'm going to use Package Manager to package the shipment in 2 separate cartons. So first I'll go to Packaging and Prepare Shipments. Now the qualifications is where I can select either the trading partner or any of the other criteria to narrow down the list of orders that are available to be packaged. In this case, I'm going to choose Walmart and go next. Now I see I have one Walmart order that is available to be shipped. Select. And this is showing me I have one shipment for one order. If I had multiple orders ready to go to the same ship to location, they would show here with 1 shipment and 2 orders. Now I'll prepare the shipments. And then I can close the window. You'll notice that my workflow status on the order itself changed to packaging. And now I can go to packaging and package the shipments to see how my shipment was packaged. So I'll select my Walmart order. This is the shipment number. So you'll see that the status says packaged. This is because the option in Configuration Manager for this trading partner is set to automatically package my shipments for me. And you'll also see on the shipment tab that the order is referenced, and if we double click here, it will bring up the order. Now if you look at the carrier tab, you'll see that the carrier is FedEx and the service is next day, just like on my order itself. So those come over. And then it'll tell me how many pieces that my shipment is going to be made into. So I have 12 pieces or cartons that this shipment is related to. And they add up to a weight of 79 pounds. On the cartons tab is where we can actually see those 12 cartons and what they contain. Carton 1 of 12 shows line number 1, B20, for a quantity of 12. But my order has a quantity of 30. So if we look at my product, I'll show you that my packaging is a unit of dozen, so that's 12 eaches. So I'm going to be packaging automatically by 12. So I would expect to see 3 cartons with the product B20 on them. So we'll go to carton 2. Carton 2 has a quantity of 12 for B20, and then carton 3 has the remainder of 6. If you look at carton 4, that's where product C20 starts. C20 is packaged in cases of 2 eaches. That causes me to have 4 cartons with 2 C20 products in each carton because I ordered 8. C10 is line 3 on the order and has a package unit of 4 eaches to a pack. So I have 3 cartons on this to account for the 10 eaches ordered for this product. And then CH01 is packaged by the each. So I have 1 package per quantity ordered of 2. But let's say I'm not happy with how it packaged it automatically. I can then go in and go to Edit and Package Shipment. It will tell me that the shipment's already been packaged. Do you want to repackage it? Yes. Now I can select those packaging options that I talked about earlier. The by product package unit is exactly what it sounds like. I'm going to be packaging by the product's package unit. The additional unit handling is if I have a remainder after packaging the items into the cartons that they fit in. So in the line 1, we ordered 30 of B20, and the remainder of 6 was in the 3rd carton. Even distribution means that I'm going to have the total number distributed evenly up to the point of the product's packaging unit. So for line 1 on B20, that would be 3 cartons of 10 quantities each. Stocking units is one product per carton with a maximum of the product's packaging unit per carton, and then the stocking unit of measure will be used to add additional cartons. So for B20 again, I would have 8 cartons. The first 2 would be a quantity of 12 each, and then the last 6 would be a quantity of 1 each. The by store location option is again used for distribution centers, and then 1 carton takes all products from the shipment and puts them into 1 carton. So for my purposes, we're going to use even distribution. We'll select that, and now it's packaged it all over again. So now carton 1 shows a quantity of 10, so does carton 2 and carton 3. So that's saved, And now it's all ready to be shipped. So I'm going to use my shipping application now. And I'm going to be using Starship for this example, but the process is just about the same for any shipping application that you use. I've already set up my Starship app integration, so all I have to do is bring in the shipment itself. So let's copy this shipment number. And I can either type in the shipment number or I can search for it right here in Starship. Hit tab, and then it's going to bring in the shipment information that I have set up. Alright, so looking at the shipment tab, I can see the carriers UPS, UPS Next Day Air. This is because I have it set as a default in Starship. But if I wanted to change it to use FedEx, simple change. And we'll do that. Okay. So you can see down here all of the packages. I see package 1 of 12. The packaging tab also tells me that. I can see the weight of each package based on the product weight on the specs tab of the product. So my last 2 boxes, 11 and 12, are each 18 pounds because they contain one of each of the last item, which is a chair. Then I can also go to the order tab and I can see the order information. So if I needed to print anything extra on my shipping label, I can enter that information here through the mapping. The recipient tab is of course where you'll see the recipient ship to address, and you can add in the additional information such as the store and different things like that. So now I'm going to process the shipment. Alright, and that shipment is processed and created, and it printed to my imaginary printer. Alright, just to show you kind of what goes on in the background when you select to, process the shipment. This is the TB order packages text that you're writing back to from the actual Starship, from the shipping application. So you'll see the carrier service that we used in Starship, the billing option, which Starship uses S for sender, the shipping charge, the tracking number, the weight, the shipment date, the package ID. The package ID is the most important field here because that's how I'm going to match it to the package in Acctivate. So now let's look at the shipment in Acctivate. We're going to pull up a new one. And now the status shows as shipped. And if we look at the cartons, there's a carrier tracking ID in each of the cartons. Then if I look at the order as well, the order now has a workflow of shipped, and the packages show here with their tracking numbers. Then I would be able to invoice the order, and my total shipping charges would show based on that billing option of S for sender. Alright, so that's pretty much all about Shipping Workstation. It's pretty straightforward once you get the setup. The setup's the hardest part. The daily use of Shipping Workstation's pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, feel free to search our help site. If you can't answer your own question, then go ahead and put in a support request, and a member of our support team will reach out to you as soon as possible. To put in a support request, you're going to go to help.acctivate.com, as well as to search the help site. So thank you for joining me today on our look into the Shipping Workstation module. I hope you got some good information about how Acctivate can integrate with your shipping application. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Have a good day.